Welcome to Shoutouts and Rants from Everything Compliance. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. Welcome to the award-winning Everything Compliance, and I'm thrilled that we have the entire group today. That's Jonathan Armstrong, Matt Kelly, Jonathan Marks, Professor Karen Woody, and Jay Rosen. So, lady and gentlemen, welcome back. We have Shoutouts and Rants. And I'm going to assign myself position number 6, as always. Mr. Armstrong has put on his 2017 World Series hat only because I haven't sent him a 2022 World Series hat yet. So we'll take the same order. And Mr. Armstrong, do you have a shout out and or rant for us?
I'm really spoilt for choice this week, I have to tell you. And I've been traveling a bit in the US. So I've been to the SCCE conference in Phoenix, to the great folks at in Houston, and to Relativity Fest in Chicago. So thanks very much to all of the people who came up to me, particularly those, one of which stopped me and shouted at me in the street because they'd recognized my voice from our podcast. So it's great to have that live in person feedback for those of you who listen to the podcast. So thanks for that. But I did get some time with you, Tom, in Houston. And as a result, I can think of no better shout out than Mac and Wings in Houston. Get a pen and paper, folks. Note down +1 713 497 5370. They, I wouldn't say dabble with fusion food, but it's mac and cheese based fusion food. I was fortunate enough to sign up for the chicken tikka mac and cheese. Strange sort of fusion food with a sauce hotter than anything known to man. I can only assume, given its proximity to NASA, it's some sort of space program spin-off that's usually used to drill through meteorites or something, or to find black holes. But it certainly found a black hole in my digestive system, I can tell you that. Their slogan is, "Your mouth will thank you later." And on what planet that is true, I've no clue. For those of you who haven't got the chance to experience the culinary delights that they offer live, the great news is that they have a franchise program. So in just 300 days, you could be in possession of a greater than industrial strength chili sauce to make this stuff in your own outlet. All you've got to do is find a site, schlep up a few $1,000, and you will be able to make grown men cry in your own living room.
One of those grown men who cried, I can certainly attest to that. Matt Kelly, what do you have for us today?
I have a shout out, although I just want to give one other final point about Twitter and Elon. Jonathan, you saying that all EU countries could impose fines of up to 4% of Twitter's annual revenue. But when you have no revenue because you have chased away all your advertisers who think your business is fit for a straitjacket, you have no.
But no, you do. It goes on to, there's a de minimis, so it's 20 million euros. So in this case, ballpark 30 regulators, because of course some of the German can as well. So a mere 600 million euros.
A mere pittance for the richest man in the world, at least for now. No, I actually did want to give a shout out to everybody who voted in these elections. Thank you for staking this country back from the brink of total lunacy and autocracy, or whatever it was that the Trumpy people would have wanted to foist on this country, because that did not happen. But I even also want to thank all of the election denier crazies who, when they lost, which by and large they have, did not actually pitch a fit, and they did not sue, and they did not attempt a coup, and they did not burn down any state capitals. The vast majority of them just took their loss and went away. So, somewhat to my surprise, yet again, America has proven that when its back is against the wall, it can actually keep its act together. And we did this past week. So that's my shout out.
Karen Woody.
Thanks. Matt took the one I was going to do. Like Jonathan, there were a lot of good options this week. But because of that, I actually am going to pivot and give a rant to something that I think may have fallen under the radar given the results of Tuesday's election. And that is a rant against Putin, because that feels like an easiest target maybe of all. But in particular, for this week's revelation that our jailed American basketball star Brittany Griner revealed that she is currently on her way to a Russian penal colony to serve out her 9-year sentence for drug smuggling charges. Obviously, this is very high profile, but still, I think was one of the many pieces of news that flashed quickly across all of our screens. But I just want to have a rant about the concept of a penal colony at all, and the fact that Russia is still doing this in the same spirit of the gulags they used to have. Everything about this story is horrendous and unjust and terrible and frankly immoral. So it is a rant against that system writ large.
Jonathan Marks.
Yeah, and also late breaking news, Joe Sullivan also filed a lawsuit this morning because his driver rating went from 4.93 to 3.1. So I don't know if you all saw that. But yeah, no, a little bit of shout out to the Houston Astros. Played great baseball. It was fun to watch that series, even though it was dubbed as one of the lowest watched series in I guess modern times. But you know, what a really great way to end the fall with watching two teams slug it out. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Tom and I were texting back and forth. So congratulations to the Houston Astros. You only cheated once this time, which is a miracle. So I'm sure more will come out later, but you just never know. So just a shout out to the Astros. Oh, and my rant is, I'm going to go back to a rant that I had from before, because in my week of craziness this week, I used this app called DoorDash in order to order food again. And I made the grave mistake of ordering from Chipotle. And like I told you from before, when my meal came, I couldn't even find my meal. And at 255 pounds, I was like a bear in my own house. So I don't know who controls what's going on over there, but it seems like it's a freaking mess.
Jay Rosen.
Thanks, guys. Kanye West in popular culture to Kyrie Irving in sports culture. There's unfortunately been some strong anti-Semitic messages that have been thrust upon many Americans. And this shout out goes to Julian Edelman, former New England Patriot and current commentator on Inside the NFL. You may recall Edelman famously reached out as an ally to Deshaun Jackson in 2020 after Jackson shared on social media a quote that had been incorrectly attributed to Hitler. Edelman offered to visit the U.S. Holocaust Museum with Jackson while also suggesting that they have some uncomfortable conversations. Edelman believes that, like most matters, this can be solved through love, not hate. Love is the answer to a lot of things Edelman said. As athletes, as media people, as some of the greats that they've been around, why were they great? They were great because of love for what they were doing, and they also had a lot of people in their lives. Love is a huge answer to a lot of things. Love, empathy, and there's a lot of people's world that can bring it back with love. So pretty deep stuff from a football player, but this is my out for the week.
My shout out goes to Brenda Hughes. Brenda Hughes is a city council person in Kerrville, Texas. And Brenda Hughes left the panel she was sitting on in city council to go behind the speaker's platform this week in a city council meeting, where she delivered a blistering speech about a controversy in our local library where certain people want to ban books from Banned Books Week. Hughes pushed back against what she said was a hypocritical approach to those saying the library staff was foisting sexualized book on children, which contains topics about sex, bestiality, and rape. She pointed out that numerous books in the library have those topics, and they are not trying to be banned. She ended by bringing up a book we're all familiar with. It's called the Bible, at which time she gave 15 different citations, scripture and verse, to those topics of sex, bestiality, and rape that were in the Bible. And she said, no one's asked for the Bible to be banned from our local library. Her entire point was that the library is full of books that some people could consider questionable, but that her zinger was the only books that these idiots wanted to ban were books that were centered around LGBTQ plus issues. It wasn't about sex. It was about something very different. Now, Brenda Hughes is a Donald Trump supporter and in many ways a proud Donald Trump supporter. But she spoke her mind and espoused her values, essentially saying, don't tell me what to read, and I won't tell you what to read. So I want to give a shout out to Brenda Hughes. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope the gang gets together a little more often, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Take care, all.
Thanks, Tom.
This is Tom Fox again. Thank you for listening to the shout-outs and rants from episode 107 of Everything Compliance. I'd urge you to check out the full episode, which posts on Thursday, November 17th. It's a great episode where we take up a variety of topics for your Thanksgiving holiday edition. Thanks again for listening. Everything Compliance, shout-outs and rants is a special production of the Compliance Podcast Network.